Hello, welcome to the program Political Viewpoint on ASO Television. My name is Topsy Gimba. Political Viewpoint comes to you 3 times in a week where we discuss national issues. Of course, the program gives me that privilege to invite personalities to be with me on any other issue to be discussed. Of course, you know, this particular we set aside is meant for the celebration of one renowned elder statesman, well known in Nigeria, a military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, who ruled this country for 9 years and happens to be the surviving person who has lived for that particular period of time, spending 1 decade, 2nd decade, counting them up to 9 times, making 90 in his lifetime. Of course, Nigerians are really very pleased with that kind of a man, because those who had the opportunity to be with him when he was the military head of state, they knew what he did, and today he's still living, you know, to share with us the grace he had with us in the time past and still having with us. So we pray that he lives longer than necessary. Of course, with me in the studio to discuss the celebration of General Yakubu Gowon at the age of 90, I have with me a renowned Nigerian who is equally into several aspects of businesses in Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Ewuji. He is the MD Explore Oil and Gas Limited. He's going to be with me on this program to tell us how much he knows about the man we are celebrating, and then to what extent can he say about Nigeria, looking into the past and then assessing the present and the future where we are going. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Dr. Nnamdi Ewuji, MD Explore Oil and Gas Limited.
Thank you, Mr. Gimba, for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
When Dr. Mike Omeri sent your number to me and the name, you know, I was really expecting to see an old man who is coming to talk about Yakubu Gowon at 90. And you don't have to be a young man, as a matter of fact. But when I saw who you are, MD Explore Oil and Gas, I know you know much about Nigerian economy, looking at the way we are and the way we were. And what can you really say, to what extent? Looking at the man we are celebrating on Saturday, exactly he will be 90 years. He was a military head of state, spent 9 years ruling Nigeria, creating 12 states, you know, and making sure Nigeria should live as one. And that has been his message. To an extent that he's not known in doing anything, constantly praying for Nigeria.
Thank you, sir. Like you rightly said, he's an elder statesman, the former head of state. You will recall that it is not all about age. It is also about lifetime achievement, legacies. Yes, you expected an old man to be on this studio.
Probably,
yes.
Who knew him?
Yes,
knows him
exactly.
Today.
But
Yeah.
from what we have learned from our forefathers and about what General Yakubu Gowon did as head of state is something to emulate. You can understand that the present NYSC today was established by General Yakubu Gowon. And you can also understand that the issue of moving the federal, the capital territory of Nigeria
From Lagos
was his
administration that
created it. And even when he has...
And you know, that's one particular area that most people do not know. They keep talking about Murtala Mohammed.
No, that is wrong.
He only implemented.
Yes. So he also has an opportunity to take it to Plateau or any other place, or even Suleja, or there, but he...
Or either Kafanchan.
Kafanchan, as the case may be. But he centered it on the center of Nigeria. That is to tell you about whom General Yakubu Gowon is. So we are celebrating his 90th birthday, and we cannot end this celebration without mentioning some of his legacies. The creation of 12 states, and even today, when you have one-on-one contact with General Yakubu Gowon, you will see sense of humility, patriotism, sincerity, and the love for Nigeria. When we were then in primary school, we used to hear about what to call Gowon. Go on with one Nigeria. That signifies unity. That signifies peace. That signifies love. Thank you so much, sir.
You know, one remarkable thing that I know about this man, he ruled at the time Nigeria had a lot of money. That was the time oil boom became so pronounced in Nigeria. And, you know, if you look at what it is today and the way he handled Nigeria when he was in the military of state, with so much money, but there was no accusation leveled against him in trying to take money for his personal gain. He never did that. And till today, I'm made to understand that even if his house, he never built his personal house.
Exactly.
He never built his personal house.
That is it.
Ruling Nigeria, at the time Nigeria had an oil boom, so much money.
That is to tell you that he's a man that has Nigeria at heart. Other than what we have today about personal interest. General Yakubu Gowon is somebody that can sacrifice anything for the masses, for the unity of the country. Look at today about NYSC. Can you see the impact? If you are from the East, after completing your university education, you'll be mobilized for the NYSC. You also go to other parts of the country to have experience of their culture. That is also integration. That is also to uniting us together. The Yorubas will be posted to the Igbos. The Igbos will be posted to Hausas to have a general knowledge about culture of Nigeria. Other than to if it's allowed, you might say that if you're an Igbo, you learn Igbo, Yoruba, but he didn't see it in that nature. And you can see that that project has continued to stand and is still standing till tomorrow. That is to tell you that General Yakubu Gowon is a great man, an elder statesman that wants to be celebrated.
Honestly. Imagine a person who came into power 1st August 1966 and the country was plunged into civil war on that particular period, 1967 to 1970, 3 years, fighting, you know, those who wanted to break away from Nigeria. Yes. But even at that, when at the end of the day, by the time, you know, Nigeria went through the civil war, he was able to integrate nearly everybody.
Yes.
The integration,
the RRR program.
Yes, imagine, yes, the 3 R's.
The 3 R's,
yes.
Reconciliation,
rehabilitation, and integration.
Exactly.
The 3 R's.
Exactly.
You know, compare what it is today with what he was. If you were to be like the way modern Nigeria, the way we are, look at them, we're struggling with insecurity. Struggling with insecurity, that they are not even up to like maybe 5,000 who are fighting this country.
Yes.
But he handled, you know, this civil war that lasted, that even other countries outside this country had interest to even support either the federal government or the opposition, sort of.
Yes, the issue of the civil war is a thing of the past.
Yeah, it is far gone.
Yes, now we are moving forward, and the most important thing is the 3 R's that he established after the civil war, and which have put us together, and Nigeria is still moving forward. Yes. But however, today, what are we seeing about this level of the level of insecurity, level of challenges in administration, development of Nigeria? One thing I can tell you, Mr. Gimba, is that placing wrong people in wrong position is one of the fundamental problems Nigeria is facing today, whereby because somebody is opportuned to have somebody in government, you will just go and bring him in without any experience. And when wrong person is placed in a wrong position, definitely it will give birth to wrong policy.
There will be policy somersault.
Exactly. And when there is a policy somersault, there will be crisis which will be affecting the masses negatively. For instance, let us take the instance of FCT today.
Yes.
For the past 8 years, me and you know how the FCT looks like.
Yeah.
But for just a period of 12 months, you can see the transformation that have taken place.
Honestly. With
all honesty, I'm not holding brief for anybody.
No. It's a statement of fact.
Yes, that you can see there.
Yes.
That is to tell you, placing the right people in the right position will also move this country forward. Secondly, we have to start appreciating what we have. The idea of portraying the country in a very bad light is not a good one. General Yakubu Gowon has every contact to allow the foreign nationals to come into the civil war, to disintegrate Nigeria and achieve their selfish, but he did not allow that. So these are the things we need to learn from as an elder statesman to move this country forward.
Honestly, you have really made a very valid point. You know, in the time past, most of us who were in primary school when he was in the military, as being the head of state of this country, most of us didn't know basically what was really going on. The only thing, you would just be waiting for your mommy and daddy to prepare food for you without even knowing the politics that was really going on.
Exactly.
Most of us didn't even know about the Civil War because we were kids growing up that time. But imagine, like you rightly said, he had that opportunity. You know, if he was a greedy human being, or probably to further disintegrate the country, he would have asked foreign nationals or the mercenaries to come in and further destabilize the country. Yes. If he had interest of becoming what he thought he should have been. But look at it, he ruled and went out until, you know, his government was toppled on the 29th of July. And he happily left and continued with his studies in the UK.
Exactly.
So you see, that man needs to be celebrated in whichever way, whichever capacity, you know, the country can really do to ensure that it's celebrated. In the first place, it becomes a charitable idea. And the man who ruled this country for 9 years is still alive.
To celebrate 90 years.
For 90 years.
Yes, good things beget good things. That is the testament here. Yeah, in this present day generation, we will be talking about personal interest. It will interest you to know that General Yakubu Gowon left office without having any one property to his name.
Own.
A head of state, a military head of state for that matter, who does not need any approval from anyone to do whatever he wants to do. But he left the country without having any property in his name. It is not, is it not word of emulation, Mr. Gimba?
Honestly,
so this is a lesson that most of us who has find themselves, most Nigerians who have find themselves in position of authority as a minister, as a senator, to look at it. This issue of acquiring wealth and acquiring wealth for yourself. And for instance, this issue of challenges we are having in the economy today. If you want to board from Kubwa to Maraba, the Tazima will not ask you if you are APC or PDP member. The economy is biting hard on everyone because of some wrong policies and decisions that has been taken in the past. But however, it is our duty to be patriotic, to be praying for the country, because I believe more good things are coming and Nigeria will be better. Thank you so much.
I should have expected these knowledgeable Nigerians who have been around, historians, to make a compilation of the man that is called General Yakubu Gowon. Because life is continuing. And at a point in time, he will exit this planet Earth, and many generations after him will come until they are able to lay hand on a document well prepared about who General Yakubu.
It will tell you to know that during General Yakubu Gowon's administration, the inflation was at 9% then.
9%.
Yes, but
meaning it wasn't much.
Then look at it, what is it today, and look at the volume of money and every other thing. So that is the issue of corruption. Is also one of the fundamental challenges which the present generation have derailed from learning from another statesman like General Yakubu Gowon. So it's quite unfortunate, but as a Nigerian, we have to continue to pray for our leaders to take the right decisions and right policies and right people in right positions so that things will get better. Like I've said it before, look at, do you believe that FCT will experience this massive infrastructural development within just 12 months? Is it an American citizen that did it? No, it's a Nigerian. So that is to tell you there are that is also to tell you that more Nigerians like him that is also capable. It's just our leaders to focus and get these people, to put them in the right directions. And sometimes consultation in relating with elders is very important and is key in formulating some policies that affect the masses. There's nothing wrong in consulting privately. How do we do this? How do we do this? The man will still, because he's full of wisdom, can share to you part of the plans and ways of which helped him to succeed then as a head of state. But one thing is about this issue of monster called personal interest. That is the main problem of Nigeria today.
Personal interest.
Personal interest.
When one gets there, he thinks of nobody but only himself.
Exactly.
If you look at General Yakubu Gowon, I should have expected himself to really, like this present administration, he ought to have, got closer to this administration, talk to the president, advising him, telling him how, how he ruled when he was a military state and what should be done. Although the society changes,
yes.
What used to be in the 60s is not what it is today.
And
so things really change, and if they change, the Daxing steps again will equally change, as a matter of fact. But of course, a highly placed Nigerian like him should have, or either the president is supposed to be seeking this wisdom from him so that they can transform Nigeria for better using the wealth of knowledge he had when he was ruling Nigeria as a military head of state.
Yes, I agree with you, but the fact still remains that our president, our current president, is a man of wisdom. And some of the policies and decisions of the government, I believe he's also consulting privately with the elder statesman, which me and you might not know.
Exactly.
But however, there's no way you will take it that you will not have these challenges. For instance, if you have taken a loan, the time you have taken a loan, you will be enjoying.
That you have collected 1 million.
1 million. You will get home happy. But by the time the deduction starts, you will begin to cry.
Wow.
It will not look as if it is the present leadership or management or leader that is the cause of the problem. But it forgot so soon that in the past, this is the day you took that loan, you were happy. But the loan was taken and was mismanaged. And once you have mismanaged it, this is the result of it. So, well, however, what we should be praying for, let us not be having that problem over and over again. Let us learn from our past mistakes. And I pray that our leaders and our president can listen to the voice of wisdom like General Yakubu Gowon, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, above party politics. Because even in the market there, the issue of groundnut oil being expensive is not about PDP or APC. So if you want to go and buy, it's not about the party. It's about whom you are as a Nigerian. So, but once the right policies, right people in the right positions are taken, Nigeria, I believe, will be better.
Look at the campaign going on. American election will come up on the 5th of November.
Exactly.
It has only about 3 weeks or thereabout. Then now they'll go to the poll to elect their new leaders.
Yes.
But all throughout the period of a campaign,
it's talking about Americans. That is it. That is also where I want the National Orientation Agency to come up, because Nigerians we are fond of bad news flies fast, and we shouldn't be a tool in promoting bad news about their country. If the same Americans that are talking about and being adjured as the world best, there are also crimes over there, but still they still see themselves.
They're eating dogs and cats.
And cats.
Donald Trump.
Exactly. So we should learn how to pray for our country, pray for our leader, have positive thinking, believe that Nigeria will be better.
Yeah. Now look at the, I don't know, are you privileged in knowing the kind of people that have been invited for this celebration? Don't forget Saturday, but the event starts on Friday. That will be on the 18th.
Yes.
With a public lecture.
Yes.
Do you have any any idea of how the program will take its own shape?
Yes. The program will officially kickstart on Friday with a public lecture at the ECOWAS Secretariat.
Okay.
And the lecture will be delivered by Dr. Adeshina, the President of African Development Bank. Then Saturday the 19th is Thanksgiving service at the National Economical Center.
Okay.
And because of whom General Yakubu Gowon is, virtually all the former presidents have indicated interest to be there. General Obasanjo, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, General Salam, and most of our leaders will be present. And that, after the Thanksgiving, will be followed with a banquet dinner at the State House.
Wow.
By 6 p.m.
Okay.
And we are looking forward to seeing Mr. President being present at that occasion.
Okay. I'm made to understand that the lecture will be under the chairmanship of the eminence of
yes, the Sultan of Sokoto. Yes, that's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yes.
Okay. You can see how things are blending.
That, yes, of course.
Blending, as a matter of fact.
General Yakubu Gowon is a symbol of unity. It's a symbol of love. It's a symbol of peace. It's all over. So that is why you see this massive interest in participating in this program lined up for the 90th birthday celebration.
It's not because you said it, and people have been saying it. Of recent, of course, where it is very clear, but most times people believe that it was late Murtala Muhammad that initiated the idea of moving the nation's capital from Lagos to Abuja. Of course, most people believe that children from primary school. But until when you said it, and many others are really saying it, that indeed it was created, the idea came through General Yakubu Gowon, looking at the way Lagos was then, and the need to move the capital to elsewhere, and they felt maybe we should be in the FCT.
Yes.
But I believe the choice of the FCT wasn't meant because they wanted it to be in the north.
Yes. No, the reason for it is that he wanted it to be at the center of Nigeria. And if you go to Nigerian map, you agree with me that FCT yes, it is at the center of Nigeria. That is to tell you whom General Yakubu Gowon.
Well, it wasn't as if he wanted being a northerner as head of state.
No. It's far from it. If he wanted it now, he's a military head of state. He would have taken it to Plateau State, and nothing will happen. But that is to tell you whom he is.
Now, why history wasn't fair to him? If he was the person that came up with that idea, and most times children are being taught, if you Google the making of the FCT, they will tell you, let Murtala Mohammed takes the shine.
Well,
why history wasn't fair to Yakubu? Is it because of his nature? Who probably prefers sitting at the backside?
Exactly, and again, the historians have not completed their project. So I will advise them to go back. It's like a building. Before you begin to erect,
there must be a foundation.
There must be a foundation. Even before the foundation, there must be architectural drawing where you put and place where the building is supposed to be and lay foundation. And you don't come and complete it after all these things has been achieved and you claim to be the person that have done that. That is a very wrong history.
And it wasn't as if the northerners wanted it to be in the north.
No. If the northerners wanted it to be in the north,
would have been in Kano.
Yes, of course. We wouldn't even allowed it to be where it was in Lagos. Initially, ab initio. So, but because, and if you look at it objectively, it's fair to all, being at the center of the map of Nigeria. So that is to tell you whom the man is. Plateau and Abuja is very close. So nothing stops. You can see even in present day generation, you will see where they want to cite a university, they will go to a village and cite a university without even considering the economic value of putting this thing in.
Imagine the University of Transportation that was taken to Daura.
Well, that
for
is,
instance,
yes, exactly.
If you are building Maritime University.
So now you can see the distance now going to Daura to go and study transportation. So it's
without the environment itself it's more seemingly like a desert area.
Even this
Valentine.
Yes, he would have even moved the NYSC headquarters to Plateau State, to his village. But he's not a man like that. He's a man, he's a leader, he's an elder statesman that we Nigerians should emulate. Our leaders should emulate. Everyone should emulate his humility. In fact, like he said, the history was not fair to him, but he's still at that. He didn't take it serious, and he's still a gentleman.
It's just now that the facts are beginning to emerge.
Exactly.
But of course, not like in the case of myself, I never knew that Yakubu Gowon was, in fact, the first person ever that came up with the idea that there was a need to move the nation's capital from Lagos to Abuja like the way. I never knew. I never knew at all, as a matter of fact.
History is very important, sir.
Yes,
history is very, and you can also see that because of whom he is, that is also one of the reasons why Mr. President graciously approved that the banquet dinner should be held at the State House.
Honestly.
So it's a leader by excellence, and I'm happy to be part of the organizers of his 90th birthday celebration. Like you rightly said when we started, as a young Nigerian, I'm also looking forward to be 90, to be more than 90.
Honestly.
And also learn not to have personal interest in taking positive decisions. Nigerian interests should come first. That will also facilitate rapid development of the economy, the infrastructure development, because sometimes if you want to talk about road construction, you want to go to your village, and without considering the connection to other this thing, you want them to go and do that, and after doing it, it will be abandoned. No strategic plan in terms of maintenance or the usefulness of whatever you are doing. So that is one of the major problems we are having in this country today. Personal interest. Now, just like I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying, because good things, you have to be saying it. The Abuja today, we are now enjoying it. Look at the railway station. Do we even believe that railway will even work? Now today, the present minister have reactivated it, and it's working.
Yes,
it's working. Based on this issue of fuel challenges, many workers have resorted using the railway, and it's not costing them anything. That is the type of policy, the type of people we want to occupy positions, so that right decisions, right policies can be taken at the right time for the betterment of Nigerians, masses.
You know, averagely, most Nigerians, particularly the younger ones, the Gen Z, they don't even know that Yakubu Gowon originally from Plateau State. Even myself, I used to think that he comes from Zaria. Are you aware of that? That he lived most of his life in Zaria. Even when he started, one will assume that he's from Zaria, Kaduna State.
Yes. Well,
but I'm told, like the way you said it, he's from Plateau.
So the problem is that one of the challenges we're also having in this country is the issue of the history no longer being a core subject
in the
universities. Because if we will make history, because some of these things wouldn't be a problem, and these are some of the issues the National Orientation Agency can begin to roll out there, so that Nigerians will know the impact positively of every one of their leaders. It is important, because if the history, I'm surprised in what you are saying, that you used to think that it's from another.
Frankly,
that is to tell you that
frankly, I never knew that General Yakubu Gowon is from Plateau State.
Yes, sir.
Because I even went to the house in Zaria, particularly the church. They say his father was a missionary.
Yes.
The church, particularly, I had the opportunity to go. It's still, it's a historical monument. That particular church, still like the way it was built in the time past.
You can even also, even the religion, he has made a lot of impact. You can see that about he established this National Festival of Praise that is run annually, where he gathers people all over the country, even from outside the country, to to give God praise of worship. And the history of ECOWAS cannot be completed without mentioning the name of General Yakubu Gowon.
ECOWAS.
Yes, of course.
He played a major role in
He
it.
played a major role because of the vision from the Nkrumah and that in trying to integrate Africa and uniting us together. It is there in the history. ECOWAS history cannot be completed without mentioning the name of General Yakubu Gowon. This is a man to emulate. In fact, he's a role model. He's another statesman that everyone who has found himself in a position of authority should learn from.
Is it possible for us to get back to a quality life like the way Yakubu Gowon used to when he was a military head of state? Is it possible the way we are today to be able to do exactly that the way he did when he was a military head of state?
Well,
is it possible?
Yes, it's possible getting a right. I'll give you an instance. For 8 years, do we believe that some of the infrastructure we are witnessing in Abuja now, we are witnessing it. So when the right person comes in right the position, you will see results. You will see the result. And again, mind you, the population then is not the same population as we are now. Yeah. But even at that, policies by a good leader who has good ideas will still surpass what General Yakubu Gowon has done.
So look at the creation of 12 states. You know, in the time past where Nigeria was regional.
Yes.
Whereas, what do you think was in his mind that he should create more states to 12? Was it like to decentralize power?
No.
Or to weaken the regions?
No, is to fast track development to get to the rural areas. This creation of states today, if you go to the history, has also impacted positively in terms of infrastructure development. Go to that, even that initiative was not there. The question is, where could we have been by now? It would have been a challenge. And you can see also the issue of creating of the 12 states. There was no personal interest about it. It's there in the history. But it's quite unfortunate, like you said, it's not out there for Nigerians to see. There was no personal interest. You can see that after that, you are seeing a state here in the country today. It was created because of one person, without looking at the economic value of that particular state here in Nigeria today. But that was not the vision of General Yakubu Gowon. The main vision for it is to fast track development so that the states with their own military administrator can begin to replicate what he is doing from the center in terms of infrastructure development. And you also recall that during the time of General Yakubu Gowon, there was nothing like EFCC and ICPC. But today, even with
no corruption at all.
No corruption. How do you look at this after being a former head of state, military head of state?
9 solid years.
No single. No. With this present generation, is only God that can bring in somebody that can be like General Yakubu Gowon.
You know, they used to tell us that during his time, he said a lot of money is in there, but looking for ways to spend it.
Exactly.
Although he denied that, he didn't say something like that, but he used till today, most people do often use it in terms of describing how things are today.
Well, Nigeria is a country with many tribes, and so everybody is his own opinion. But meanwhile, in every issue, look at it objectively.
Yeah.
Objectively,
yeah.
Look at it from the point of positive, not negative, because of your selfish interest. If you also go to history, you will find out that even where he stays currently in Abuja, from what I have learned, it was a gift from a notable Nigerian.
You mean it?
So that is to tell you how.
Did he build a house of his own?
No.
That's serious.
Yes, sir.
That's serious. In Nigeria?
Yes, sir. So we are praying that we can still have good leaders like General Yakubu Gowon.
When I saw him, it became a very big opportunity for me,
yes,
as a person, as if having touched Yakubu Gowon, I can now die. Like the way South Africans, when Mandela became president,
yes,
they appeared on television, now they can die. What they have been expecting when the white minority rule to a black rule, black government, they have witnessed it, now they can die. On my own part, when I had a handshake with General Yakubu Gowon, I didn't believe it. Why am I saying so? That was the man I used to cram to his name so that I'll be able to write in common entrance to go to secondary school. He left government, I was still in primary school.
Okay.
You can imagine that. So and after that, I used to be thinking, only hearing about him. And he's the kind of man that he doesn't get closer to government. He operates on his own. So you can't hear much about him on newspapers or watching on radio talking about politics. You don't. So for you to have access to him, like that kind of a human being, that God-given human being, was like a problem. And here, a person like me who used to memorize his name to go and write common entrance, having an opportunity to shake him. In fact, I felt I've lived, honestly. And looking at him, he has much life to live. Much life to live. He's 90.
Exactly.
The way I saw him yesterday and other days, the man still have long life to live.
Exactly.
So,
and that is our prayer.
So what do we do in that instance as Nigerians? He is still with us.
Yes. First thing first, looking at General Yakubu Gowon, you will see a complete definition of humility. The day I was opportune to meet with him.
You too?
Yes. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it would be so difficult. They said, no. He's very accessible. And he's a man that is ready to tell you and guide you what is right and how Nigeria should move forward. But the problem is this. Many today has this issue of personal interest, and as such, there's no way they will want to go to tap from the knowledge that has national interest.
Honestly.
So
you have made the point.
That is a major challenge.
You have made the point.
So somebody will come and tell you, no, I don't want to
get closer to this man
because of this, because of that. That's why I'm telling you, is based on the part of which you are seeing what you are seeing and what are the motive of seeing it from that perspective. So in all honesty, General Yakubu Gowon is a man to emulate, and I pray that I also get to 90, 100 above.
Yeah.
So he was worth celebrating.
Okay.
And like you rightly said, he's very strong. And if you see him, in fact, I believe we're still going to celebrate his 100th birthday.
Wow. Wow. We'll pray we get there too.
Yes, sir.
We'll pray we get there.
God will do it.
Yes. So I really want to discuss about you in a program that we're talking about a rare man, an elder statesman, a hope for Nigeria, a man who ruled unblemished. You are MD Explore Oil and Gas Limited.
Yes.
And you are into other businesses.
Yes, sir.
Take a look at what's happening in the oil sector today, where Nigerians hardly can access, petrol. As a matter of fact, till today we're talking about buying a liter of petrol as much as to 1,000 plus. And then you imagine how much do you require to get enough for a car to move? Are you part of these people who have caused the wahala for us?
No. I'm not part of them. Yes, I'm into oil and gas, but I want to, in all honesty, thank Mr. President for the policies that he's putting in place. You recall when the issue of indigenous refinery came up, all the politics that surround this, but Mr. President in his wisdom stood that this Dangote refinery will be a support to Nigerians. Now, sir, the issue of MTN line, then you will recall that it was at 65,000 or 70,000. I don't know how much. But today,
they give it
freely. So I know that getting the fuel, the question is, why are we buying this fuel at this high price? Now you can see the policy of buying from Dangote in Naira, the policy that have just started. I want you to understand and also plead with Nigerians to be more patient.
Okay.
That this fuel that have gotten to this level will still gradually find its way down.
All right, sir.
Yes, it's a very wonderful policy that the president have taken.
Okay.
And it will also interest you to know that, yes, as long as you are the pilot piloting the aircraft, no matter whatever that is happening, everybody will blame you.
Yeah.
But without knowing that before the aircraft takes off, the people that are supposed to put fuel, did they put the fuel?
That's the question.
The engineers that are supposed to check the engine, did they check it?
That's the question.
So these are the this thing.
Okay.
This man has been in the position. His administration is just 12 months old. I'm not holding brief or speaking for him, but all I'm urging Nigerians is let us be patient and also pray for our leaders, so that right things, right positions can be taken.
And try to emulate Yakubu Gowon. I mean, nobody knows whether you will get to that position.
Yeah, exactly. I will emulate him. Yes, he's a role model, he's a father, he's an elder statesman that worth emulating. That I will do, and I assure you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So let me feel you.
Thank you so much,
I
sir.
appreciate you for coming for this program, Political Viewpoint, on ASO Television.
Thank you, Mr. Gimba,
and I really appreciate Dr. Mike Omeri, former DG NOAA, that's the National Orientation Agency.
Exactly.
He was the one that actually prepared you for me this evening.
Thank you.
I appreciate him greatly.
Thank you so much,
sir. Viewers, that's about the size of the program, Political Viewpoint, on ASO Television. I had with me in the studio Dr. Namdi Iwuji, MD Explore Oil and Gas Limited. We looked at General Yakubu Gowon at 90, his legacies, and what do we expect for him. The celebrations will be coming up on the 19th. That will be exactly when he will be 90. But the program set aside by the committee, Central Planning Committee, starts on Friday, and you listen to my guests who actually broke it down in the way it's going to be till we get to the end. I believe most Nigerians will be there to watch this rare jam, these most important Nigerians who actually govern us unblemished. I thank you so much for taking time to watch us. The program will come via view again tomorrow at about this time. My name again is Topsy Gimba. I wish you a very happy celebration, just very closely to the birthday of General Yakubu Gowon. Stay tuned. News comes your way at 9, and bye-bye. At 7, so to speak. 7, and I was talking 9.